Okay, so I wrote a new poem. I'm gonna read it to you guys. It is called Thief. I haven't memorized it, so bear with me. I found comfort in the pastures of another woman's land. I let the earth beneath this wasted constitution move my bones like it never felt thunder before. Self-healing warrior, well aware of the complications that stood before her, I allowed your indecisiveness to remind me that I could still feel. Tangled up in webs of ambition, I overlooked hurricanes that brought this land much-needed rain, drinking up your possibility like I was born with thirst, like all I ever needed was that comfort. And just when I felt myself losing faith in opportunity, you pulled me back towards you in the most honest of ways. Frightened, like new beginnings, we took to unused streets unaware of where they would take us. You moved me, like it was in your nature to do so, and passion came naturally like seasons and sonnets and habits and wanteds. And there was a time not long ago when the night sky stretched out so clear and quiet above us. It convinced me that maybe I was tolerable. And contrary to what many people believed, someone could put up with me. You pointed out constellations and planets on those nights when we were still invincible, and I only ever knew where the Little Dipper was. Slow to get up in the morning, even with your back turned towards me, I still wonder why you never saw my better qualities. Imagine my disappointment when I realized I couldn't do this anymore. I asked you to leave this morning, because that's what I do when the bright leaves the room. And I had one lifeline left, and I used it to phone a friend so I could ask him if he thought forever was ever possible with me, because I'll be the first to admit that I have a knack for ruining things. I should have warned you that when I said forever, I really meant until I didn't feel like making excuses for you anymore. Excuses for why we were no longer a team. There isn't a soundtrack when you fall in love. There isn't one when it falls apart either. You said you wanted me happy, and I can't remember the last time I felt it with you. I'm assuming it was the night we sat outside and you said you'd win an Oscar someday. But I think I was so hopped up on the idea that the day they announced your name, the camera would pan towards the crowd as you gave me a romantic shout out in your speech, and I'd be there drunk and giggling with Meryl Streep sitting right next to me. Romantic, I said. Now there's something I've never known with you. And it's such a shame, because you're such a saint, you just can't seem to see anything through. I remember the first night you stayed. I considered your heavy breathing the final resting place in my bed, because we woke up in the same position we fell asleep in, and I thought that meant home. But they don't tell you that sometimes that doesn't mean shit in the long run. I found comfort in the pastures of another woman's land. I wish she would have told me that nothing strong grows in them.